Hello ladies, Dawn Bates here. How are you today? Ah, how's your choosing going? Choosing you. I hope so. I hope it's going well. I hope you are choosing you. Because if we're not choosing ourselves, how can anybody else choose us? Now, today I've been choosing to giggle lots. I had a bit of a funky weekend. I wasn't feeling very well. I was feeling rather disorientated, very tired. Um, And I realized, and I shared this last night, that I'm going through a grieving process. And although that might sound a bit strange that I'd be giggling all day at the end of a grieving process, it's a good one because I'm coming to the end of the manuscript of my next book. And it's been a really interesting process, this one, because this book, I'm writing a biography about a lady, and an incredible lady. Oh, she's got a bit of a girl crush, actually, in the best possible way. And the thing is, when you get to the end of the book, whether it's a book that you've written or whether it's a book that you've read, you get to that point where if you've really loved it, do you really want it to end? It's like, oh, I really want to read it, but if I read it, it will finish, so I don't want to read it anymore. And I'm now at that point where I'm wrapping up the whole book. And the skill in this part of the book, it actually takes me longer to write the ending of the book rather than the whole book itself, because we have to make sure that the ending doesn't leave the readers feeling as if there's a chapter missing. Well, what happened to the rest of the book? Did it fall out? Or like, where did it go? We don't want that. We don't want to be leaving the readers thinking, well, like, what's happening? Each book has to be a standalone book unless we know it's definitely going to be a series. So because this book is coming to an end and the closeness that I'm working with this lady, it's not going to be as intense. So it's like, oh gosh, it's like the end of an era. And then it got me thinking about this interview that I did this morning, the rebirth and the reborn. And I was going to be speaking on a completely different subject today. And I was like, yeah, we're all rebirthing and being reborn every moment. Every moment we choose. And choices are really, really powerful. Choosing to accept ourselves, choosing to speak up, choosing to invest in ourselves to move forward, choosing to let go of people, whether they're in business or whether they're personally related to us, choosing to ask for what we want, choosing to be part of a group, or choosing to launch a program or a new offer, choosing to go and stand on stage in front of 10, 20, 30,000 people, maybe even standing on stage in front of 5 people. Now, sometimes, depending on the subject and depending on how often I've spoken about it, I can get really nervous. And I find sometimes that when I'm not in business mode, I'm actually more anxious about meeting people when I'm just Dawn than I am when I'm Dawn Bates, author coach, or Dawn Bates, author strategist, or Dawn Bates, the sailor. And this is the other thing, when I step on board a boat, depending on whether I've sailed that kind of boat before, I'll be a bit nervous. And I remember the last boat that I was on when I did my ocean crossing. I have tied a bowline, I don't know how many times. I could do them in my sleep. And it's a certain knot that we do, whether we're attaching them to sails or we're attaching them to the rings that you have on the side of the marinas. And You know, these are things that this is a knot that we use for no end of things. And I remember the captain came and stood next to me, and I hadn't been sailing for a few months. And I tied it. And I was like, well, that's not right. I tied it again. That's still not right. And the captain took it off me and she did it. Now, I understood that, you know, she had her own schedule. We weren't going anywhere. We were anchoring up, and like all the other lines had been tied up, and that was all fine. We weren't moving anywhere. Um, but I was just like, why can I not tie a bowline? And one of the things I've realized is sometimes when we're writing, it's always the little words that sometimes trip us up. Like the word was. That one I've seen so many people trip up on. Yesterday in my author coaching group, I shared an article on homophones, homonyms, and homographs, my favourite subject in all the English that I've taught. Because sometimes we're not really sure which one we're going to use. Is it there or there, here or here? Is it bear with me or I'm bare but naked? You know, which one are we using? Are we using the word butter to butter somebody up or to butter our toast? And the choices that we make and the words in which we use really go on to define so much of our life. And the choices that we make about the people who surround us and who work with us, well, they're really important. But we sometimes don't have the confidence we need or to make the really important choices. And unless we gain the confidence to make those important choices, then how can we escalate our growth? How can we become the person that we really want to be? Whether it's, you know, we want to become mothers, but we've got this really successful career. How can we give up this career and give it all up to go and become a mother? You know, or we've got this really successful corporate career. How can we give all of that up and go and start a business, especially in times that we've seen it in the beginning half of this year? Then we've got the situation that many people have found themselves in at the moment where they're having to choose their relationship. Now, here in the building where I am, there is a couple who have, it's obvious their relationship is under a lot of strain. Today I had to turn my music up really loud just to not hear them arguing. I didn't mind. I had a bit of a boogie around my apartment. That was all good. But so many people have realized that they're in a relationship that they probably should have walked away from, or that they have been ignoring certain issues within their relationship. In other people's relationship, it's actually brought them closer, and they've gone, well, actually, we really love spending all this time together. How about we go off traveling once this is all over, or start working together? We work really well. We've learned a lot about each other's work while we've been in lockdown. Let's do something different. And here is the thing, when we make informed choices and we know from the questions that we're asking ourselves about the person we want to become, about the life that we choose, then we can really start to make a difference in our life. And I was saying to my children this morning, I've been considering coming home to the UK to visit you. Even though the thought of going back to the UK is not something I look forward to. I don't want to stop my trip, but I miss my children. I miss my dogs. Yeah, I'm here and I could say, well, I'm stuck here, but we're only as stuck as we choose to be. We're only as limited as we choose to be. Now, some people say sky's the limit. Well, I disagree. The sky's not the limit. There's a huge cosmos beyond the sky. There are wormholes, there are black holes. It's up to you where you go. it's up to you whether you want to just stick to the sky being the limit, or if you want to think outside of a box or be like me and burn the boxes. There are no boxes, by the way. That's just cardboard box, big box, little fish, or whatever it is that they used to do back in the day. I wasn't a happy hardcore raver. I was the techno girl. So anyway, moving on. But it's the choices that make us happy, the choices that give us courage, the people we choose to have around us that are really going to make the difference. So choices, influence. What are our influences right now? Who is influencing us? What is influencing us? Where are we influencing others? And where can we change the influences around us and change the influencer that we are for others? Some interesting questions. So I'm going to leave you with them, and I will see you again very soon. Ciao for now.